Hello, friends. Welcome to Edgemont UMC's Edgemont Sermon Extra. I'm Pastor Henry Prater. So glad you have joined us for this segment we're going to pick back up and do for the next little bit. A sermon extra is just a extra few thoughts about the sermon from this previous weekend. Usually, there's a lot of stuff that doesn't necessarily make it into a sermon because of time constraints, or you don't want to go to information overload. So this little segment is just a chance to spend a few more minutes talking about a particular thing. And this week, I want to talk just a little bit more about the Magi and who they were. Most of us have grown hearing the Magi. A lot of times we have thought of them as kings. You know, the song "We Three Kings" plays a part of that. I think we've kind of developed that idea that they were kings because they brought gifts of royalty. But in reality, a Magi was not a king. A Magi most likely. These visitors, these visiting Gentiles, were a member of a priestly caste from the Persian Empire. Magi is the plural for magus. That means magician. These were magicians or sorcerers or astrologers, might say. They would be someone who interprets the stars or interprets dreams. And so they would have came from the remnants of the Persian Empire. It's interesting. We would have met these folks already, though not in Matthew, and not these particular people, but Magi we probably met in the book of Daniel. And as we read through that, in the tales of Daniel with Nebuchadnezzar and later with Darius, these would have been some of the royal advisors, some of the people that they called on to interpret dreams, to see what the stars are doing and interpret that and what's going on. So these people have a very deep relationship in the Bible. And so it's pretty cool that we find them here at this point delivering these gifts, recognizing the birth of this new Jewish king, which we understand is Jesus, who is our Savior, who is King of this world, who is our Messiah. Very cool to see how they interplayed. This is something that would happen frequently. I know it seems a little weird for us to think about dignitaries, but this is something that this priestly caste in Persia would do regularly. There are many other Greek and Roman authors who refer to them making trips and being received as honored guests and bringing gifts to recognize the importance of a particular birth or a particular event or to even let know about, hey, this thing's going to happen because this is what we have seen. So that's kind of who the Magi were. As I say, they're from Persia, which for us think modern day Iran. There's the possibility that they may have came from another part of Arabia, but that's more or less where they come from. And this is really important that it was the Magi who came, because if you think about that association with the book of Daniel and their association with magic and astrology, these were not popular people. These are not people who would be well liked, and yet they came to pay homage to Messiah at a time when the king in Israel, Herod, and the scribes and priests and other Jewish leaders missed Jesus's coming, which was kind of our thrust of this past Sunday sermon. So these were Gentiles, not just Gentiles. They were priests of another religion. Most likely it was something called Zoroastrianism. And if you want to learn more about Zoroastrianism, let me know, and I'll talk a little bit more about that sometime or another. But very unlikely people to be the ones who came to worship the Jewish Messiah who became our Christian Savior Jesus. So that's just a little bit more information about them. If you have any questions or comments about them, I'd love to talk with you. You can leave a comment here at the end of this video, or you can drop me a line at henry.prater@umcna.org. And we'll see you next time. Thanks.